Hello Terra Mystica fans. After the fun of the Guess the Next Move game, where we tried to guess what Mr. Fickles, a very high level expert Terra Mystica player, did with his Fakir's game, good fun, we're going to go to the other end of the spectrum now. So quite a low level player. This is a player EJD, and EJ is playing their first game of Terra Mystica on Board Game Arena. So we're going to see what kind of moves EJ does, see if we can guess what someone on the lower end of the ELO scale compared to the expert Mr. Fickles does in EJ's first game of Terra Mystica. So let's see what setup we've got. We've not got the mini expansion, of course, because why would you? So there's no ship scoring in. We've got big building scoring, we've got dwelling scoring, we've got trading post scoring. We're missing the temp ship. Excuse me, we're missing the worker power, and we are missing ship scoring, of course. We got late trading posts. We have a town round in round 4, dwelling trading post. Quite a nice track, actually. Digs early. Yeah, this is a good track. Repeated fire rewards, repeated earth rewards. Could be a really nice nomads game, maybe. Digging early. Remember, Fakirs are going to struggle, so anything with Fakirs. We're playing against some other sort of, not expert level players. This is not an expert level game. So we've already had Andrea throwing in witches, and now it's our turn to pick. Maybe nomads seem like a good pick here. Towns, let's see what we go for. Okay, so clearly EJ knows something, and they've switched from cultists to halflings. For this, cultists would conventionally be the better pick in a game, especially because I think it looks like we're not playing with auction here. So normally you would suggest to pick the cultists, especially when there's stacked earth rewards and stacked fire rewards. But EJ's seen a line, maybe with round 1 digging, that halflings might be a better option. Yeah, and we're sticking with halflings. Excellent choice. Then we get chaos. Seemed like a good pick in this setup. And Pickford is going to have a look at some of the factions. Swarmlings, engineers. Oh, okay, I feel like we've already had chaos. Pickford is... Oh, okay, Pickford has gone for nomads, good choice. So we've got a yellow, brown, red colour wheel here, so tricky picking nomads into that colour wheel, but we'll see. Okay, now it's time to pick a dwelling. Starting spot in this situation, you obviously have to be cautious of the nomad starting spot. We're playing ahead of them, so we can sort of get good access to good hexes. The center the center spot here is always a good choice. Shall we turn on hex names to make sure we can really give the analysis? We don't have hex names available. I think that's because it's an old thing. Okay, but we're going west. Okay, interesting choice from EJ. He's clearly seen a line, maybe hoping to tempt witches to come and join in the west, or maybe even chaos magicians. Nomads take the center, as you might expect, and then go west. And okay, and we're also going into the north here, into the northwest. So normally as halflings, there are some good spots towards the center and the east of the map. In the center, you've got access to leech, which is really important in Terra Mystica. In the east, there's especially these hexes here where we've got, for 1 dig, you can get access to 2 brown hexes if you start in one of these. So we're sort of choosing to avoid that, but the advantage of this spot is that it does block the nomads from taking the yellow up there. So that's a thing. And maybe depending on where Chaos Magicians place, we might get a neighbor in the north here on the grey hex. Witches take double center. Chaos do choose to start in that fairly conventional starting spot. So we'll be looking to neighbour with the Chaos Magicians in the north. It's going to be a difficult start now because we don't have neighbours on either of our dwellings, but maybe there's a plan for how we deal with that. Nomads take the big building bonus tile. Chaos take the spade, as you'd expect. This grey hex will be highly contested. Oh, and sorry, I didn't see, but I missed that. Sorry, but EJ took the dwelling scoring tile there. I think hinting that he's probably hoping to use the halfling's ability, get some digs in round one. The coins were available, and normally coins would be a strong starting card. There was also a priest, which could have allowed a priest earth, which would be really beneficial in this stacked earth reward game. But the dwelling scoring maybe will get us some points. So here we go. It's witches to play first, and witches, with their power, they do choose to take that grey hex away from Chaos Magicians, which is a bit of a shame for Chaos Magicians. Now let's try and guess what next move we're going to do here. We don't have neighbours. We do have 9 power in bowl 2. I think the problem is witches are going to be kind of on the bubble for double dig. Fortunately for witches, they chose to dig with workers, so they've still got enough power, and unfortunately we are not going to get enough leech. So this really is a tricky spot for the halflings here. So what move would we do if we were... Okay, Chaos Magicians have a spade. And we're on the dwelling scoring. I think... I think in this situation, what I would do as EJ here in this situation is I would maybe take a priest. The priest would allow me, it might allow me to get that priest to earth, as no other factions have a priest. Or maybe there's some line here where we take a priest and we advance ship and we can build a dwelling on this black hex and then across to the brown. Potentially Chaos Magicians will come and give us a neighbour, although they wouldn't have shipping. Let's see what EJ chooses to do in this situation. Okay, yeah, so we're going straight for the hard dig to lock up that brown hex. We're on the dwelling scoring tile. So yeah, we're using our workers to dig. That gives us points for halflings and points in the dwelling scoring round. And yeah, we'll probably choose to build a dwelling here. Yeah, good shout. Okay, Chaos Magicians go to upgrade to get their temple. Nomads also upgrade. Nomads are on the big buildings. We'd probably expect to see the stronghold. And witches also upgrade. Now it's EJ's turn to play again. And I think here, so we're quite low on workers now at this point. I think this is where I would choose to take the priest and look to upgrade shipping to get some more dwellings out, get that worker economy rolling with halflings. Okay, but we've actually chosen to upgrade to an expensive trading post here in the west, which is an interesting choice. We're on the dwelling scoring tile, and that has used up all of our workers for this round. I guess the advantage here is that maybe we're expecting that the nomads will choose to come use their sandstorm to join us in the west potentially. So maybe just looking to maximize leech there from EJ with the trading post. Chaos Magicians take their temple and take Earth 1 and Earth 1 and Earth 2. It's a hard dig as well from nomads in the east using that digging scoring, and witches take the single spade action to build their dwelling in the center. they are going to really look to have a town here for that round 4. Okay, it's EJ's turn now again. So we're down to no workers and 9 coins. We do have some power for a power action. And it seems potentially unlikely that we're going to be getting leech anytime soon. Unfortunately, there's no chance of taking double dig. And I think in this situation, my preference would be to take the workers action for 4 power and then upgrade this expensive trading post in the west into a temple, and probably take Earth 2 with that temple for the Earth cult rewards and to improve our worker economy. So let's see what we do. Okay, we have finally taken the priest. And we're unfortunately not going to have enough workers to then upgrade shipping and build another dwelling with the lack of leech, but maybe that priest will be going to the Earth cult to get some coins and start looking up that cult, which is pass, and now it's Halfling's turn. So yeah, here I would certainly send that priest to Earth. Okay, no, we are going for the shipping line actually, as it turns out. So EJ has advanced shipping. Interesting choice. Nomads did not build the stronghold. They went for a temple instead, but they have their bonus spade, which means they're going to take that brown, which really would have been a good brown for halflings to be on. You can see how much leech there would have been offered on that center brown, so that is a shame. I don't think I agree with that choice to not start on the center brown at this point. In hindsight, it definitely would have been a good place to be. Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have enough resources to do anything more despite having upgraded our shipping. But the advantage is our shipping is upgraded, ready for next round now, so we can immediately start locking up the hexes that we need for the rest of the game. We're passing for 2 with our dwelling scoring, so that's good to get some points. And we got some points for digging this round, so we're up to 27 points, so we are in the lead at this point. This is a non-auction game, so we all started on 20 points. Choosing what tile to pass on to now, we really need workers, and some power actions will be good. So I think this worker power token would be a good choice for the halflings, although coins can never be too bad. Okay, I see, but instead we've chosen to pass on to the trading post scoring tile there as halflings. That doesn't seem like an optimal choice, especially given that this isn't a trading post round in the next round. I don't think halflings would really be looking to build trading posts in the next round, but it did come with a worker and a coin to get that economy rolling a little bit. Nomads pass, and that is the end of round 1. And it's Andrea to act. They get the priest to fire, which is really good because we've got fire cult rewards. So now it's halfling's turn to act. The priest would have been really good to get that priest to Earth at the end of last round, because now we don't have a priest because we upgraded shipping. So what's the next move for halflings here? We don't have enough power to take a power action. I think here we do have the shipping, so it couldn't hurt to go and build another dwelling. And yeah, so we'll go for building a dwelling in the north here on the brown. The other priority action would be to upgrade this trading post to a temple. I think at this point I would still choose to take Earth 2 with that temple. So maybe either one of those actions would be a good action for EJ to take here. Let's see what he chooses to do. Yeah, okay, we're going temple, and so maybe it'll be Earth 2. Fire 1 could also be a good choice here. Earth 1 is a good favour tile and will score us points, especially when you're a newer player. Sometimes just scoring points with Earth 1 is a really good way to make progress in a game. So we'll see what we choose to take. Okay, we've chosen to take Air 3 here as our favour tile. Now that is an interesting choice because there aren't actually any air cult rewards in this game. So it's not really getting us anything in terms of economy through the rest of the game by choosing to take Air 3 there as our first favour of the game. The good thing is that halflings do start on 1 step on the air cult, so actually that we've been very leech starved in this game. And so the Air 3 did give us 1 leech for jumping up that level in the air cult, which is, that's a benefit for sure. And because there's no air cult rewards in this game, I think what we're going to find is that the air cult is not very contested at all, actually. It really will be up to us to I think we're probably going to win the air cult at this point. So getting that in early and locking that up with the first temple is a strategy to really ensure that useless air cult is really ours come the end of the game. No one else is going to try and take that from us at this point, probably. Although witches could send a priest to air and challenge us on it. It's the sanctuary for the Chaos Magicians with Fire 1 and Water 2. You love to see it. And still in the centre there's really a lot of leech happening in this centre part of the map. Again, it's a real shame for halflings that they chose to miss out on that leech. And so far, we've got 0 leech in this game. Okay, so now it's our turn, and we will build that dwelling in the north for sure with our shipping. Yeah, there we go. Nice. That gets the worker economy going. Would have been good to have Earth 2 to get the economy. Now nomads have the stronghold up, so hopefully we're going to see nomads coming and joining us out here in the west. Maybe we can share some leech, get some towns rolling. Witches take the coins. We still don't have enough power for any power actions, and the action's on us. I think unfortunately there is absolutely no action that it's possible to take other than passing. So we're going to pass here. It's a dwelling round next round, so we could look to score from the dwellings bonus tile, but I think taking the spade will be the best course of action because we want to get digging. This economy has been stalling a little bit at the start of this game. We haven't managed to yet take a economy favour tile, so passing for a spade and building some more dwellings would be good. Unfortunately, we don't score from the trading post bonus card that we decided to take, but there we go. And yeah, we do pass for the spade, so that's good. Sandstorm from nomads out in the west, but unfortunately they don't give us a neighbour with that sandstorm. They do lock up the blue. Chaos Magicians take a priest. Finally, a witch's flight out to us in the west with the witch's stronghold. So we're going to accept this leech, of course. We need it to get the economy rolling. We still don't have enough to take a power action with our first action of the round. We get another leech here. Very good. Nice. So things are looking a bit better. Still no power for a power action, and it's us to act first in this round. We have our spade tile to use. I think witches currently don't have shipping upgraded, but witches will fly. So I think here a good course of action would be to take this yellow hex here with our shipping, with our bonus tile. Or we could upgrade shipping actually, but we only have 7 coins, 1 priest and 7 coins. Does getting to 2 ship help us much at all in this situation? It doesn't help us a whole lot, if we're honest. It's probably going to be building on this yellow and then hard digging for another dwelling, I think will be the play for this round. That means that we can send a priest somewhere. Now, because we attacked the air cult hard with this air 3 take, sending a priest to air could be strong here. It's going to give us 4 power gain, which is really important. There's still earth cult rewards to come, so priest earth would be good here. I would probably go for priest air, if not priest earth, but we'll see what EJ chooses to do now. Okay, we're going for another expensive trading house in the north. Now it is a dwelling scoring round, so normally you wouldn't choose that option of building an expensive trading post in a dwelling scoring round, especially when you're the halflings who really love to have worker economy. They love building dwellings to get more workers, to fuel that economy, to fuel the scoring. So it's not a conventional choice to go for the trading post there, and that's not the option I would have gone for, but we'll see. Maybe EJ is hoping for some big leech when Chaos come and join out in the west. Sanctuary for nomads, and they take fire 2. And potentially, as EJ predicted, it does look like Chaos Magicians are coming over here. So we'll hope to get some leech from this now upgraded trading post. If Chaos Magicians build the dwelling, they do. And we're going to be offered 3 for 2 on the leech, which we accept. So there we go. That's good to get some leech. And more leech coming in the west from witches. Now we have enough for a power action. These priest spots are still free on the cult. So I think I would... Currently, well, okay, so here's a difficult thing. Let's see what the witches do. Okay, the action's on us. So we now have enough power to take the coins action. We're really short on coins because unfortunately that expensive trading post, the name says it was expensive, that trading post. So I think now we've got some leech. I think here I would take the coins action. The coins action is really good in Terra Mystica, even though halflings love the worker economy. At this point, if we're going to be building any dwellings in this dwelling scoring round, we're going to need some coins to do so. So I would take the coins action here. Okay, so actually we're going to build a dwelling across the water here, out in the west, taking the black hex next to nomads. Now we've actually chosen to do that with workers, despite being on the spade bonus tile, which gives us the free dig if we'd have wanted it. So I wouldn't have chosen to do that move personally. I think potentially it could have been a misclick. EJ's been known to make misclicks, false passes in his time playing Terra Mystica. He's not always the most accurate player, so could have been meaning to use the spade bonus tile, we don't know, but at least that's built a dwelling in this round. I think also, yeah, so we can see here that, is that on the screen? On the right of the screen here, we see that EJ did some conversions there. So instead of taking the coins action, we've actually down converted. Down conversions aren't a thing, but in this case, it really does feel like a down conversion to go from 4 power to a worker and a coin. It probably would have been more efficient to use either the worker action or the coin action for a conversion such as that, but maybe EJ felt that prioritizing taking that hex and just using the conversions was the correct way to go. Chaos Magicians have broken through into the center, which is nice for them. They'll be able to get some dwellings out. There's more leech from the witches who build their sanctuary. So now what have we got? We're really short on resources, unfortunately. It's a tricky spot, but we do have a spade to use. We do have the priest. So again, I think just nomads might choose to take a priest here to one of these cults. I really think we should be sending that priest to a cult. Okay, and so so we have, I think EJ realized that moving up the cults there would be a strong move. Unfortunately, it probably would have been stronger to send that priest to the 3 spot on air, to move up higher and to sort of secure that spot and block other players from taking it. Instead, EJ chose to send the priest to the cult of air and reclaim it into the supply for just a single step up the air cult. Now, the normal reason for doing that would be that you're worried about overproducing priests and that you need to sort of use those priests for something else. As halflings, we would normally choose to use them as workers, but sometimes you can use them to bump cults. In this scenario, halflings only have a single temple up. They're not anywhere on the water cult, so I don't think we should be worried about overproducing priests in this game. So I don't think I would have chosen to do that way of sending a priest to the air cult. I think taking the 3 spot would have been stronger. Nomads choose to Oh, they've built a town. Okay, they've built a town early. Interesting. As halflings here, we should be thinking about this town round in round 4 and trying to prepare for that. Right now, we've got our spade tile to use. We really want to make sure that we don't pass without using that spade tile. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use it in a productive fashion, but digging this yellow to brown, or maybe digging this... Actually, I would probably dig this yellow in the north to brown now to think about building a town up here in the north in the next round. So yeah, we'd hope to use that spade tile. Okay, but instead we've taken a priest. So maybe we've realized the error of our ways there, and this 3 spot on the air cult is still there, so we might be sending that priest before the round is out. Chaos Magicians pass. It's a double dig for witches, and out in the west we're hoping to get even more leech. Okay, so we have sent that priest to a cult. Unfortunately, again, EJ's made the same mistake here of sending it to the Order of the Cult of Earth and reclaiming it to their supply, which just I think is, in this case, strictly weaker than using the 3 spot. The 3 spot on the cults would really have been a better choice there. I'm quite certain of that. We don't, we can't judge EJ's mind state when he's in this game and what he's thinking. There are different priorities depending on what the other players in the game are doing. There are tempo considerations, but I really would strongly suggest that both of those single cult bumps with the priests were not the strongest option, especially given that the 3 spots were available. We're going to get some leech here. Okay, no, we're not choosing to take that leech. We do notice that unfortunately as halflings, we have at this point burnt down to only 3 power tokens. This is going to be limiting for the rest of the game. It means we really can't take the coin action anymore, which, the coin action is a very strong power action in Terra Mystica. We would also love to have been able to take double spades and such like, because we haven't so far managed to lock up all of the hexes we would choose for this game. So that's slightly unfortunate, but sometimes you just have to burn power to prioritize the actions that you need to take. Sorry. So in the spirit of the game, I clicked play, but I haven't actually seen what that move was. We had a spade tile in hand, so I'm hoping that EJ's chosen to spade one of those crucial hexes in the north to build the town next round. And unfortunately not. We've chosen to pass. Okay, so prioritizing... I suppose there's an argument that witches really... Yeah, okay, that's a good point, which I hadn't realised. Witches have both of their big buildings up now, and so witches would really like to take this big building scoring tile. Witches are our closest point competitor. Unfortunately, at this point, we are not in the lead anymore. So blocking that big building scoring tile from the witches is potentially a strong play, because that really is a large point swing. Maybe we can build a sanctuary next round for a town. Okay, but we've chosen the dwelling scoring. We're going to build some dwellings to complete this town in the north, so we'll score some dwellings. That does mean that witches will be able to pass onto that big building tile. They choose not to. They choose to take the priest. And it's chaos to act first. They take the priest to earth there. That would have been a really good spot for halfling to take. You can see how far you jump up a cult when you take the 3 spot. It's big. It's a really high jump. And not choosing to take that was a shame for EJ. Nomads are doing stronghold things, and it's EJ to play. This is a town scoring round, so we'd really like to build a town in the north. It's going to be difficult now because we really don't have many resources to play with. It's difficult. I think at this point I would choose to send the priest to Earth for 2 Earth spots, I think. But what else could we be doing here? I think at this point Yes, looking at the resources into the round 4 town round, we've unfortunately only started with 4 workers, 4 coins, and a priest, and not much power. So I don't think it's going to be possible to complete a town in this round unless we get a lot of leech. We are on the dwelling scoring round, so I think I would send the priest to Earth. Oh, we've sent the priest to Earth. Great stuff. Now, unfortunately, we've sent the priest only to the 2 spot, but, you know, it's better than a single bump at this point. We get some leech for that. We get a free leech from nomads. We still don't have enough power to take a power action, unfortunately, and the only power action we're ever going to be taking again in this game is the priest or the bridge. I think in this situation, as EJ on the dwelling scoring, I would, although it's the dwelling round next round, so there's not been good synergy between our choice of pass tiles and the round structure of the game here. At this point, we really need to get some worker economy going. So I think, given everything we've talked about, I would still choose to dig and build this yellow hex in the north center. Let's see what EJ chooses to do. Okay, we've gone for the sanctuary in the west. Now it is a town round, so there might be a hope there of using the sanctuary for a town, but unfortunately that has used every single resource that we have to build the town, including converting to 2 coins and burning a power for some reason. So that it was a bold move to take the sanctuary. We remember that the no, it wasn't sanctuary round, previous round, and now we have to take a favor tile with that sanctuary. I think Earth 2 would still be a strong choice of favor tile. It's rare to take Earth 2 this late into a game, but it would give us a crucial Earth cult spade at the end of this round, and at this point we really are struggling for worker resource with the halflings. So let's see if we take Earth 2 with that favor tile. Okay, we've gone for Earth 3. Yeah, Earth 3, which also gives us the crucial Earth cult spade, and actually gives us a little bit more leech. So now we have 1 power in bowl 3 and 1 power in bowl 2. So we're really looking in a better spot in terms of power with that big bump up the Earth cult. Witches have locked up the fire cult. And at this point, our next move must be to pass, because despite having 1 power in bowl 3 and 1 power in bowl 2, we can't take any further actions with those power. So we're going to pass. Now we have the sanctuary up. It would surely be a very strong move to pass on to the big buildings bonus tile. So we'll pass on to that. We score 3 points for our dwellings. And yeah, we've passed on to the big building bonus tile. So that's strong. We'll scroll through for the end of the round now. A lot of the other factions have more actions to take. Sometimes in Terra Mystica, you want to take long rounds and short rounds to sort of get tempo on really good pass tiles. So maybe that was something in EJ's mind with building that sanctuary early in that round, immediately passing on to the big building bonus tile to score it next round. And you've got that tempo on the pass tiles. Chaos Magicians also pass. The difficulty here is we could have sent that priest to Earth a few rounds ago and we would have been competitive on the Earth cult, but now the other factions have unfortunately overtaken us on the Earth cult. The key thing though is the air cult is looking really solid, like really good stuff on the air cult. I don't think we're going to be challenged on that too hard, although the 3 spot is unfortunately still left available, which would give witches a chance to compete for the air cult. We're passing, everyone's passing. We're going to get a bonus spade here. I really think that digging one of these yellows would be good at this point. Unfortunately, this town is looking sketchy in the west because the blue... let's think about this. Nomads really want this blue hex. We really want this blue hex. Chaos aren't too bothered about it. I think the problem is if we dig this to black, nomads are really likely going to dig it to yellow, I think. So unfortunately, I think building a town through that blue is really going to be tricky with the competition from the nomads. I think this town in the west, we maybe would have to focus on taking the black hex, and then we have to hope that witches don't fly to this green. It wouldn't be connected for witches, so maybe they don't want to take that green. So yeah, I think at this point I would cult spade this black hex to brown over here and focus on building out in the west. But we have taken the yellow hex there. Okay, yeah, I think that's a reasonable choice. And with our first action of the round, we build that hex. Again, with only 2, we do have a full... Our bowl 3 is full. All of our power is in bowl 3, but unfortunately, with only 2 power in bowl 3, that's not enough to take any power actions, especially the coin action, which really is a valuable action to take, especially when you're the first player in one of the later rounds of a game of Terra Mystica. You'd really love to be taking that coin action. When you only have 2 power tokens left, it's hard to take that. It's our move now, so let's guess the next move. Again, not much in the way of power actions, and we really are short on coins at this point. Only 1 coin. The economy just didn't get rolling in this game. We really sort of didn't get going. We're on the big building bonus tile, but I don't think we'd choose to build the stronghold. At this point, as the halflings, we haven't really managed to build all of our dwellings in this game. So I think I would choose to... Do you know what? I think one thing that we've tried to do in this game is we've not like been expansive as the halflings. I think it's unlikely that we're going to win network in this game the way things are going. Although, maybe we could. I think our economy means we're not going to win network. So I think focusing on the cults here, and this 3 spot on the water cult is still available. If we take that now, there's a reasonable chance that we will have kind of claimed that water cult and we can focus on our cult win in this game. So let's do that. The other thing that we need to prioritize in this round is building out some dwellings. So I would probably be hard digging this black hex here and building a dwelling there. I think that would be the way to go because we can't upgrade ship very easily with only a single coin. Okay, we're going for the trading post. Again, it's not really linked to the round scoring that move because this round is the dwelling round in round 5. So really we'd want to be building our dwellings, and then in round 6, which is the trading post round, we could focus on building those trading posts, but we're choosing to do that early. Sometimes there's like, you might want tempo on water 1, but we already had a trading post built. So it does, again, I really don't want to disagree with what other players or like players in the past have chosen to do with their actions, because you really can't judge what a player is thinking about during their game, and they may have reasons that we can't kind of realize. But I would strongly suggest that the trading post at that point in this game wasn't the strongest choice. We get some leech though, and now we still have the priest. I would really strongly suggest that we send that priest to water, I think now. Okay, so instead of sending the priest to water in the 3 spot, we have instead chosen to send it to the Cult of Earth and reclaim it in our supply. Again, I don't think that would have been strong. All the Earth priest spots were taken, but unfortunately we're a bit late to the party because the last round was the Cult of Earth round reward. So moving up the Earth cult last round would have been preferable. I don't think in this situation that would have been the strongest move in the game. One thing that EJ's realised though is that with the without the mini expansion in this game, then there's no ship scoring in this game. So EJ has kind of correctly realized that trying to stay on one ship with halflings in this game and using the priests to fight these cults is a strong move when there's no ship scoring in the game. Unfortunately, it just hasn't really gone that well on the cult fight, and the other factions have kind of managed to surpass EJ in quite a few of the cults. But there's the air cult. There's always the air cult. Okay, unfortunately, because that air cult 3 spot was left free, witches have chosen to take that spot that was left and have surpassed us in the air cult also now. Unfortunately, as halflings, we're struggling to build any towns here. So, we couldn't have locked up any of the cults without a town key. It's our move now, and we don't have much left in the way of anything. Another thing that as halflings is like a really good thing to do is to advance your digging, because you get points for it, and it's really cheap with halflings. It only costs 2 workers and a coin. So that would have been a good way to score points with those priests that we had. Unfortunately, a lot of the priests have gone to single cult bumps on the cults, so we haven't yet been able to advance our digging as halflings, but that will be a way to score points late in the game. In this situation, there really isn't much that we can do with 3 workers and 2 power in bowl 3. So I think a good move here for EJ would be, we're going to score from this big building bonus scroll. I think at this point we can just pass, and we can lock up a scoring bonus tile, a really strong scoring bonus tile going into round 6, because this is the trading post scoring tile, and round 6 is a trading post. We've already preempted that round 6 by building 2 trading posts, so it seems really likely that we're going to be able to finish round 6 with all of our trading posts built, scoring them, and pass. So I think, the pass for the trading post would be a strong move here, and we do pass. And okay, we choose to take the coins. Now, there is a consideration there, because our economy has unfortunately not been very strong in this game as halflings. So perhaps EJ took the view that kind of getting more economy will allow for a more explosive round 6 by taking the coins. Sometimes in Terra Mystica we're too narrowly focused on scoring bonus tiles at the end of the game, when actually a boost to the economy, especially when your economy has been weak during the game, can be more optimal. Again, we've had quite a short round here as the halflings, so instead of kind of going for short long rounds, that is a way to kind of bounce off scoring tiles, we've mostly just been going short rounds as halflings. I think that's potentially an indication that we haven't been using our economy and our resources efficiently. It would have been good to probably have some longer rounds in there and maybe build a few more things, maybe fight for network. We have unfortunately lost this blue hex to the nomads, so the town is looking difficult in the west, particularly as nomads will likely sandstorm that green hex to complete a 4 hex town, which will leave the sanctuary stranded and will also kind of really destroy any hopes of a network fight. All the actions are taken, and we are ready to go. We're first to act in round 6 with a fully charged bowl 3. Again, not enough to take a power action, unfortunately. And here we have to say that the priority to really finish strongly in this halflings game is going to be, I think what we have to think about here is a water 1 race. No one has yet taken water 1 in this game, and every faction can potentially take it with their next action. Therefore, I would suggest that scoring some extra points. How many resources are we going to have? So we'd like to use that priest as a... Using that priest to upgrade digging would be very strong. That would be 2 workers. That'll give us 5. And then that means that unfortunately we're not going to be able to take water 1 and build 2 further trading posts in this round. And it's really difficult when you've only got 2 power to kind of cycle to get workers or to take more priest power actions. So I really think EJ should have thought harder before burning down to only 2 power tokens in this game, because I do think we're seeing that it's now becoming quite a limiting factor in the end game. I would therefore suggest that the optimal move right now in this round 6 of our Terra Mystica game, we're behind on points. I think we should just focus on let's upgrade digging. We're going to either upgrade digging or build a trading post on one of these cheap spaces, hopefully this time. Okay, so instead of upgrading digging, we've chosen to dig with the halflings. And we're going to build a dwelling there. Now, is there a chance of that being a town? I really don't think so. Witches choose to take... No, Chaos take the coin action. And yeah, the Hex is being sandstormed by the nomads here. So yeah, that is tricky. We were offered Leech, but we unfortunately couldn't take it because of we kept the power in Bowl 2 to use it ready. Again, now we are really low on workers with that hard dig. Probably would have been more optimal to do that hard dig in the last round and build the dwelling, because last round was dwelling scoring, and instead of building the trading post over here in the last round, we could have sequenced that a little bit better and done it in the opposite order to, like, you know, really kind of optimize this end game. I think at this point we just have to upgrade digging. That would be my move. Okay, it's a trading post. Now, again, unfortunately, there seems to be a common problem here with EJ's game, and I really can't think of any way that building an expensive trading post in this spot would have been any better than building a cheap trading post in this spot or in this spot. I really have to... Again, I don't want to criticize players. However, I would strongly suggest that was not the optimal spot. If we were going to build a trading post, my guess wasn't that we'd build a trading post, but you know, I don't think that was a good move. We would have been able to get more Leech as well, because Chaos Magicians have chosen to upgrade their trading post. The game is we're really coming close to the end of the game here now as halflings, and there's not much more that we can do. I think the best option here to score points would be to send this priest to the 3 spot on water. We tried to go culty. Unfortunately, it's not really paid off. We're not winning that many cults. In fact, we're not winning any. But that 3 spot might give us a few points on the water cult. Those are swingy points as well against the other factions. So we'd like to see that. Okay, instead, again, it's gone to the earth cult, the priest. I don't think that was the best move, because although it gave us Leech, which we unfortunately couldn't accept because of our Powerball situation, it's only tying Chaos Magicians for 2nd place on Earth, so that's going from 2 points to 3 points, and that's assuming that Chaos Magicians don't fight us back on that card. So I don't think that would have been as strong as sending that priest to the 3 spot on water. And really that means that I do think we're done here. I don't think there is a single action that it's possible to take for the halflings at this point, because unfortunately we really have been hampered by only having 2 power in our power bowls. You want to keep that, you know, 4 is a really good number to keep above in the late game. Even keeping above 3 as halflings so you can buy priests and convert to workers would have been more efficient, I think. You can never know why you prioritize. So I think we're passing here, and yeah, Here we go, we pass. So that's the end of the game from EJ. Now, again, this is one of their early games, so we don't want to criticize EJ's early game, but it's really interesting to see the game and try and guess what a player on the lower end of the ELO scale back in 2020 when they're at home in the pandemic might choose to do. It turns out that there's a lot. I think the positive thing that we can see here from EJ's game is that there's really a lot of room for improvement, right? They're clearly learning the game. They're sort of getting to grips with things. And, if they look back at this game and they kind of see like from everything, from the starting positions at the beginning through to the decisions of, building an economy. And then just like, there's a lot there that they can improve on kind of in the bulk of the game. And then even on like really small efficiencies, like, do you choose to send your priest to an empty 3 spot on the air cult, or do you choose to bump it for a single spot? Those like small things can end up making quite a big difference at the end of the game as well. So there's a lot here that EJ can learn from and improve. And maybe one day they could hope to be a nearly 500 ELO player. So we're going to sort of see the end of the game here. Again, I don't think EJ has many end game scoring points. I really think, unfortunately, they're only on 36 points after passing in round 6, and the other players are ahead and still have actions and point scoring to take before passing. And in the end game scoring, it's not looking pretty for the halflings, we've got to be honest. So I think, unfortunately, this is going to be a loss. So they're not going to find that they improve from that 0 ELO position here. EJ playing halflings. It's always a tough game when, you finish a game with halflings and you haven't upgraded digs at all because of a lack of economy or planning. And you've got, I would maybe describe this as a tall halflings game, which tall halflings are in fashion nowadays. Of course, everybody loves tall halflings, but in this circumstance, I don't think it was the strongest option to take a tall halflings route for this game, especially when there was really good opportunity to have an expansive end game scoring. So here we go. We're getting 4 points from that air cult, which we fought so hard for. So that's nice. And we're going to finish on 43 points. We'll check thing. Nomads, as you might expect, have won network. And then, no points on network. We are going to get, we're going to get 2 resource points. So that's something. So we're going to finish on 45 points. The other players are mostly breaking the 100-point mark. Again, there's no mini expansion here, so scoring is a little bit lower. We all started on 20 points as well. Let's remember that. We started on 20 points. This was pick order. It is a loss there from EJ, but like we said, there's some real good stuff in there. Some some building, some digging, some favor tiles. These are all Terra Mystica things, but I think EJ should really try and maybe check the rules, maybe learn some real basic stuff about how to be good at this game. And I'm sure there's room for improvement. So thanks for joining for this Guess the Next Move challenge, a really different one to when we guessed the next move of Mr. Fickles. It was different. So that's been a really good, we've all learned a lot, I think, here. And this is just some of the really great strategy and learning that we can get from watching other players play Terra Mystica and trying to anticipate what they might do with their next move. So thanks everyone for this excellent strategy in Terra Mystica. I will see you next time for another Guess the Next Move challenge.